Starting off this countdown, we have Charlie Sheen. Oh boy! Over the years, Charlie Sheen has done some pretty wild and highly controversial things. Let's take a look at some of these things, shall we? In 2014, Sheen was getting treatment for an abscess on his tooth. Apparently though, during this treatment, he freaked out at the dental technician, hit them, and then pulled a knife on the dentist. His excuse? He was high on which doesn't make that any better. And of course, we have the huge divorce scandal with Denise Richards. Denise shed light on just how bad it was with Sheen. There were 17 pages worth of allegations, including him being violent and physical with her on a number of occasions. So this, among a huge list of other scandals, made a lot of people not like him. Plus, rumor has it that he slept with over 5,000 different women. So that in itself gives him a pretty bad reputation. 5,000. In our 9th spot, we have Tiger Woods. When news broke that Tiger Woods was cheating on his wife, it completely destroyed his career. Soon he lost almost all of his sponsors and his reputation was tarnished. He went from the world's #1 ranked golfer and almost lost it all. It all started in 2009 when Woods crashed his Cadillac outside of his Florida mansion. Then apparently his wife, in a rage, used 2 golf clubs to break the rear windows of the vehicle because she found out that he was cheating on her. Woods was all like, no, she actually smashed the window to save me from the vehicle. But of course, that wasn't the case, and people began to wonder what was up between the two. That's when US Weekly published a report that Woods had an affair. Shortly after, dozens of women came forward saying that they too had a relationship with Tiger Woods. Honestly, in 2009, this was one of, if not the biggest scandal of the year. I remember everyone was all like, ooh, Tiger Woods, I don't trust him, he's a cheater. But it seems like they have moved on from all that and they're letting him get back to golf. Moving on, at number 8 we have Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan was one of my favorite actors as a kid. Like, hello? Parent Trap, Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, Mean Girls? She was in so many iconic movies. But sadly, the fame and fortune took a toll on Lohan. In 2007, she was arrested for drinking and driving. She went to rehab, and 2 weeks later she was arrested again. This time for possession of another DUI and for driving with a suspended license. This was just the beginning of Lohan's downfall. Over the years, she struggled with her drug and alcohol addictions. It really took over her life and ruined her career. And apparently when she did try to get back into acting, she was a complete diva on set and wouldn't want to leave her trailer to film the scenes. I really wish things would have been different for her. In our 7th spot, we have Lady Gaga. I remember when Lady Gaga first rose to fame, people were so weirded out by her. Her songs were hella catchy, but people weren't too fond of her crazy outfits or unusual music videos. She received so much backlash for wearing that meat dress at the 2010 MTV Video Music Awards. Also, remember when she hatched out of an egg? Or that time she covered herself with fake blood on stage during a 2009 VMA performance? Because Gaga pushed the boundaries, people were not a fan, and immediately they labeled her as someone who should not be trusted. Nowadays, things are different though. Her award-winning performance in A Star Is Born made people see just how talented and down-to-earth she really is. Also, can we talk about that movie real quick, because I bawled. I bawled. I can't get over it. Moving on, at number 6 we have the Kardashians. You either really love them or you really hate them. Over the years, the family has had their fair share of scandals. From Kylie's recent swimsuit scandal to Kim and Kanye drama to denying getting work done, you name it. Sure, they might be entertaining to some, but to others they are bad role models and are setting the wrong example for kids. But if you are a fan, let me know in the comments below, which Kardashian is your favorite and why is it Kylie? I feel like everyone just likes her. No shade. She's cool. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Bob Saget. Are you a fan of Full House? Then you probably know Bob Saget as Danny Turner in the show. Well, a lot of rumors have been going around about Bob and saying that he was inappropriate to the Olsen twins when they were on the show. First off, he admitted to being inappropriate with the Michelle stand-in, which was a real-life Michelle-sized doll that they would use to prepare for the scenes when Mary-Kate or Ashley weren't available for practice. He would get handsy with the doll and do disturbing things with it. The worst is what was said about him during the Comedy Central roast. A lot of the comedians made jokes about Bob taking advantage of the twins while on set. One joke talks about how Bob was only interested in the girls until they turned 21. But that is nothing compared to how dark and disgusting the other jokes were. Although they are jokes, it makes you wonder if there's any truth behind them. In our fourth spot, we have Marilyn Manson. Antichrist superstar Marilyn Manson has done some highly controversial things over the years, like engaging in self-harm on stage during one of his concerts. In 1995, he took a broken beer bottle and plunged it into his chest and then dragged it across his skin, wounding himself and leaving a permanent scar. He also got arrested at a Jacksonville, Florida concert for using adult toys publicly and then urinating on the crowd. Or how about the time he went grave digging and took human skeletal remains? He then took it back to his hotel and put the bones in a pipe and smoked it. I mean, that's just some of the many dark and messed up things that Manson has done. The list is very lengthy. In our third spot, we have Bill Cosby. For years, there were allegations of Bill Cosby taking advantage of women. Then in 2014, comedian Hannibal Buress made a joke in his stand-up routine about Bill Cosby and all of this.
That shit is upsetting. If you didn't know about it, trust me. When you leave here, Google Bill Cosby.
The joke went viral and it allowed dozens of women to come forward and say that they were victims. By 2015, there were 35 women who came forward. As years went on, the number increased to more than 60 women. What's crazy is that The Cleveland Show and Family Guy all made jokes about Bill Cosby and what he was doing to women years ago. This was years before the situation came to light. So people were out here warning everyone about Bill for years. In our second spot, we have Kevin Spacey. Over the years, a number of men have come forward claiming that Kevin Spacey tried to make advancements on them or that he had taken advantage of them. It started in 2017 when Anthony Rapp claimed that when he was 14, Spacey made a sexual advancement towards him. It didn't take long for other actors to come forward with similar accusations. But it seems like people in Hollywood knew about Spacey years before the allegations came forward. In 2005, Family Guy made a joke about Spacey. In a season 4 episode, as a dare, Stewie runs naked through a mall, saying, "Help, I've escaped from Kevin Spacey's basement." In 2017, when Anthony came forward, one of Family Guy's showrunners got questioned, and he admitted, and I quote, that there have always been rumors out there about him. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Harvey Weinstein. Years before Harvey Weinstein was exposed, a number of celebrities tried to warn us about him. Let's take a look at this interview with Courtney Love from 2005. While on a red carpet event for the Pamela Anderson Comedy Central roast, Love was asked if she had any advice for a young girl moving to Hollywood. She said, and I quote, "If Harvey Weinstein invites you to a private party in the Four Seasons Hotel, don't go."
Harvey Weinstein invites you to a private party in the Four Seasons Hotel.
After saying this, Love apparently got eternally banned from CAA, Creative Artist Agency. But wait, there's more! Elijah Woods was another celebrity who tried to warn everyone about Weinstein, and then he got blacklisted for doing so. He said that as a child he was never allowed to go to the Hollywood parties because people of power would take advantage of the young stars there. He said, and I quote, "If you're innocent, you have very little knowledge of the world and you want to succeed. People with parasitic interests will see you as their prey." But no one listened to him. He tried to expose them and stop these disgusting things from happening. Instead, he got boycotted by major studios because of this.
At number 8, Mariah Carey. I can't say I will ever understand why people insist on putting others down. It doesn't help anyone out by being rude for no reason, and Madonna has been exposed for this on many occasions. Over the course of her career, we've seen Madonna say some rude things about other celebrities that are simply uncalled for, and though sometimes those celebrities don't respond to whatever hateful comment the singer made, others do, and they kind of expose Madonna for the rude things that she says and thinks about others. Back in 1996, Madonna was asked about what she thought of Mariah Carey, and what she said was far from nice. In the interview, the singer said that Mariah's music wasn't art, and she even went so far as to say if she had to perform Mariah's music, she would rather take her own life. Super harsh, right? Well, Mariah wasn't just going to let those hateful messages slide, and she clapped back in her own interview. When asked about the comments that Madonna had been making about her, Mariah said this.
I really haven't paid attention to Madonna since I was in like 7th or 8th grade when she used to be popular. So I didn't.
Mariah later doubled down on her clapback in 1998, commenting on Madonna's latest album at the time when she said, quote, "I haven't heard the new album. Growing up, I liked her first album a lot. That was really popular. Good for her." End quote. Though the extra clapbacks weren't necessarily called for, it kind of just showed fans that Madonna can be mean for no reason, and that's just not a cute quality to have. At number 7, Aaron and Sarah Foster. A lot of celebrities really love interacting with their fans. They're the ones who support their favorite celebrities the most, and without them, they wouldn't have the careers that they do. When fans approach a celebrity, a lot of times they're welcomed with open arms, so to speak, and get to have a nice interaction with them, but apparently not when it comes to Madonna. According to Aaron and Sarah Foster, the daughters of music producer David Foster, Madonna was less than welcoming to her young fans. The sisters told sources about how they got to meet Madonna after school once and how the singer completely brushed them off. Aaron told sources, quote, "I will never forget this. I tried to copy one of her outfits. I wore a blue satin button-up shirt because she wore that at one of the award shows. I tried to recreate the look so when she would see me she'd think, oh, you're really cool. She was not impressed. She was like, what are these kids doing here? She wanted nothing to do with us." End quote. In a way, this was a warning to any other fan that if they tried to interact with the singer, they are likely going to be brushed off in the same way. Before we continue talking about the celebrities who aren't too fond of Madonna, why not take a quick moment to leave a like on this video to show your support for the channel, and also consider subscribing as well to see more videos like this one. At number 6, Gwyneth Paltrow. In yet another installment of Madonna vs. Everybody, we have yet another celebrity beef that seemingly exposed Madonna's toxic side. Gwyneth Paltrow and Madonna were once BFFs, but apparently after the singer divorced Guy Ritchie, they had a falling out and things got toxic. At first, no one really knew what happened between them, but later on, more information started to come out and fans started to piece together this toxic picture. In an interview with Vogue, Gwyneth shared some information with the publication that hinted to the toxicity between the actress and the singer when she said, quote, "I can be mean, I can cave into gossip, I can ice people out, and I can definitely harbor revenge. In fact, I'm having a situation right now with a friend where I'm feeling pretty angry, but revenge is corrosive, it doesn't make me feel good." End quote. Later on, she referenced Madonna and her personal trainer, saying, quote, "It's good that Tracy Anderson doesn't train Madonna anymore. It was too much. She keeps people waiting, it takes up your whole day." End quote. More information came up as well when a source close to the actress told sources about what things were like between Madonna and Gwen, revealing that this falling out really started happening when Madonna started mistreating Gwen, saying, quote, "Madonna would on her over and over." End quote. Sounds like quite the toxic situation. At number 5, Prince. Even after his passing, fans have said that Madonna has disrespected Prince on multiple occasions, and that kind of warns fans as to what kind of person Madonna is behind the scenes. Let's talk about what started their feud first, and then we'll move on to the most recent incident that fans found unacceptable. Back in 1994, Madonna seemingly mocked the late Prince in an interview with the Los Angeles Times. She recalled the time when she and Prince were dining together, saying, quote, "I had dinner with Prince once and he was just sipping tea very daintily. I was stuffing food down my face and I was like, aren't you going to eat? And I thought, oh my god, I have this theory about people who don't eat. They annoy me. It's something about being in control." End quote. Fans thought that this comment was a little uncalled for, but not as uncalled for as when she called Prince a quote, "little troll" back in 1985 after they dated briefly. But by far the most offensive thing that fans have called Madonna out for in regards to Prince was her tribute to him at the Billboard Music Awards in 2016. A lot of people had a lot of negative things to say about her performance, but most of them couldn't get away from her drug-themed accessories, which included a purse that said dealer on it. Judging by the fact that substances is what led to Prince's death, that was pretty thoughtless. At number 4, Janet Jackson. If you really like someone, then you wouldn't want to talk badly about the people in said person's life, especially their family. But apparently, Madonna didn't really think of that when she bashed Janet Jackson while she was out and about with Michael Jackson. According to Jermaine Jackson, in his book, he wrote about Michael and Madonna and how Madonna spoke ill about the Jackson sister and how rude she was about it. Jermaine elaborated on this, saying, quote, "I think Madonna sincerely adored Michael, but the feeling wasn't mutual and she committed 2 cardinal sins. The first was that she was hell-bent on loosening him up and getting him to see life through her eyes. The second mistake was when Michael went to dinner with her one night and Madonna had the temerity to criticize Janet. Michael was furious and not surprisingly they never went on another date." End quote. Like, what does that say about you if you criticize someone's sister like that? There was never any drama between them up until that moment, so so no one really knows what provoked those comments from Madonna. Janet was clearly hurt but brushed it off, saying in an interview, quote, "I never said hate. Hate is a strong word, but if I did hate Madonna, I'd have valid reasons," end quote. On top of that, Madonna tried to pretend like she had no idea what Janet was talking about, which kind of makes things even more toxic. So yeah, in a way, we were warned about just how toxic Madonna can be. At number 3, David Letterman. It is an unspoken rule that when you're a guest on someone's show, you behave yourself. Not only because it's usually on live TV, but because it's just respectful to be kind and courteous of someone else's show and their job. But being the outspoken person that she is, Madonna threw all of that out the window when she was on David Letterman's show, and the host wasn't too thrilled about it. In 1994, Madonna made an appearance on The Late Show with David Letterman, and it went so far left that it circled right back around and kept going left, you know? While the singer was doing her guest appearance, she kept dropping F-bombs and making inappropriate remarks. She even gave Letterman a pair of her underwear and refused to leave the stage when her time was up. Her conduct was a little much and pretty uncalled for, but Madonna defended her actions, saying that her appearance was her way of protesting against censorship. While yes, she can do whatever she wants in protest, there's also a time and a place for that, and because she decided to pull this stunt on Letterman's show, she lost a lot of respect from the late night host, and he pretty much exposed her for her inappropriate behavior. At number 2, Michael Jackson. Now, we already talked about Janet Jackson and how her encounters with Madonna warned us about how rude she can be, but let's talk about how Michael Jackson also warned us about the same thing and how toxic and mildly controlling Madonna can be. Michael Jackson and Madonna briefly dated back in the day, but as you can imagine, it didn't really end well. The King of Pop referred to Madonna as, quote, "not a nice person" in a taped conversation with his spiritual advisor. He elaborated on why he felt like that, describing how controlling she was of their dates. Michael spoke out about it, saying, quote, "Madonna laid the law down to me before we went out. She said, 'I'm not going to Disneyland, okay? That's out.' I said, 'I didn't ask to go to Disneyland.' She said, 'We're going to the restaurant. Afterwards, we're going to a strip bar.' I said, 'I'm not going to a strip bar where they cross-dress. I'm not going there. If that's how it is, forget this whole thing.' Afterwards, she wrote some mean comments about me in the press. I wrote that she was a nasty witch after I was so kind to her." End quote. In a way, this warned us about how Madonna treats people trying to control the situation, and when things don't go well, retaliating by saying mean things in the media. It's not a very mature way of handling things, and it's pretty toxic. And finally, at number 1, Arsenio Hall. Usually, when you strike a nerve with someone, the best thing you can do is just apologize and move on. Madonna, though, doesn't do that, and instead lays into the comment she's made and just seems to make things worse. This is exactly what she did with Arsenio Hall while on his show, and it was both cringy to watch and also pretty mean. Madonna made an appearance on the show in 1990 and made a comment about Arsenio's ex Paula Abdul and her rumored rebound John Stamos. Madonna brought up the drama, but in a rude way. Arsenio laughed it off, but Madonna just kept going. She gave him a gold ring because she, quote, "felt bad for him," and dug even deeper, saying that Paula left him because she, quote, "wanted someone who was home more often." End quote. You could see how uncomfortable Arsenio was, and frankly, it was hard to watch. You can see the whole interview online, so if you want to watch the whole thing unfold, the internet is at your disposal, but it gives a really good idea of how rude Madonna can come across as being. In a way, this experience had Arsenio warning us about how Madonna can cross a line with her comments and how she will not take it back.
Starting off, we got Taylor Swift. Jake Gyllenhaal has come back into the spotlight purely because of Taylor Swift's recent 10-minute release of her hit song All Too Well. The first version was 5 minutes, but for the re-release of the album Red, she included the original length of the song, which was 10 minutes. In the song, Taylor is agonizing over a past relationship and singing about her heartbreak. From the Easter eggs she's given us, her fanbase has widely regarded this relationship was with actor Jake Gyllenhaal. Swift, now 31, dated Gyllenhaal, now 40, for 3 months in late 2010. She then channeled her emotions to make the hit album Red in 2012. Taylor also released a short film along with a 10-minute version of the song, and cast Dylan O'Brien, who is 30, and Sadie Sink, who is 19, in the All Too Well short film, which happens to be a very similar age difference to her and Jake Gyllenhaal during their relationship. Taylor calls out Jake in the line, quote, "And I was never good at telling jokes, but the punchline goes, I'll get older, but your lovers stay my age." This line especially hits hard since Jake is currently dating a woman 16 years younger than him. In the song, she says that apparently Jake Gyllenhaal claimed that they might still be together if they were closer in age. Even though most people are on Taylor's side, many are criticizing how harshly that she's painting Jake, as it was only a 3-month relationship, but it's widely believed that Jake Gyllenhaal was her first real boyfriend, so clearly very pivotal to her life. In the song, Swift references an unnamed actress who caught her, quote, weeping in a party bathroom and asked what happened. Fans have speculated the actress was Jennifer Aniston at the People's Choice Awards, but of course nothing's been confirmed. Another line of the song paints a picture of Jake not showing up to Taylor's 21st birthday party. The line goes, quote, "You who charmed my dad with self-effacing jokes, sipping coffee like you're on a late night show, but then he watched me watch the front door all night, willing you to come. And he said, it's supposed to be fun turning 21. In response to the new version of the song and all the negative media attention that he's getting, Jake Gyllenhaal is apparently mortified. A source claimed, quote, "Jake is mortified that Taylor is targeting him in All Too Well. He's such a private person and goes out of his way to avoid drama, so having their 3-month fling dragged up in this song and hearing people gossip about it is a hard pill for him to swallow." Next up, David Fincher. David Fincher and Jake Gyllenhaal worked together on 2007's Zodiac. But following the film's release, it's clear the pair had a lot of tension while filming. In one interview, Gyllenhaal hinted that he didn't have a good relationship with the director. Apparently a big issue is that Fincher likes to get tons of takes from his actors so that he can be sure he's gotten the best one. Gyllenhaal doesn't like this method and believes it goes too far. Years later, in a new interview with the New York Times, Fincher cleared the air on the drama. Fincher says that at the time, Gyllenhaal was a hot new actor and had a lot of attention from the media. Because of this, he was very distracted and it was hard for him to work with someone that demanded perfection. Fincher added that Gyllenhaal would go to various film festivals over the weekend, and when he would show up to set on Monday, he would be scatterbrained. Next up, Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal became besties after they worked together on the 2017 sci-fi horror film Life. After the movie, the pair would attend events together and talk about one another in the press. It was very clear that they spent a lot of time together. Then all of a sudden the pair had a falling out and no longer talk. One source claims the falling out was due to competition. Apparently tension started once the pair realized that they were competing for similar roles. Currently it seems that Reynolds is the one winning in the acting game, as he is the face of huge movies like Free Guy and Red Notice, while Gyllenhaal has not done anything notable in years. His last role of that caliber was in Spider-Man Far From Home in 2019. The source added, quote, "All their friends chalk up their falling out to show business. Ryan and Jake realize that in Hollywood, there are so many seats at the table." Years back when the pair were friends, Gyllenhaal told BBC's The One Show that he didn't feel threatened by Reynolds. Apparently he felt the dynamic between the two of them was perfect and there was no competition or jealousy at that time. But now that Reynolds has become a much bigger star, people believe that Gyllenhaal's mind was the one that changed, and he started distancing from Reynolds because he was bitter. Jan Cadeau. Now that Jake Gyllenhaal's relationships are being analyzed in the media, people are realizing that Taylor's line in the All Too Well song is pretty accurate, and Jake Gyllenhaal has a tendency to date younger women. Jake Gyllenhaal's current relationship is with French model Jan Cadeau, who is 25 years old. But what makes things fishy is the fact that they have been dating since 2018, so Cadeau would have been about 22 years old when they first started dating. The pair are very private, and they only went public in May of this year. They walked the red carpet at the New York Film Festival in September. They were accompanied by Jake's sister Maggie and her husband Peter Skarsgård. Jan Cadeau is 25 years old, giving her and Jake a 15-year age gap as he is 40. In Taylor's song All Too Well, she added the line, quote, "I'll get older but your lovers stay my age." Which many think is pretty timely considering the age gap in his current relationship. And even though Gyllenhaal has been in a number of long-term relationships over the years, he admitted in one interview that he's only been in love twice. That got the internet scrambling to see who those women could be. Most speculate those women to be Reese Witherspoon and Kirsten Dunst. And finally, himself. Jake Gyllenhaal completely exposed himself when he revealed that he doesn't make bathing a priority. He told Vanity Fair back in August, quote, "More and more I find bathing to be less necessary at times. I do also think that there's a whole world of not bathing that is also really helpful for skin maintenance, and we naturally clean ourselves." Although he wants everyone to know he is not dirty and that he brushes his teeth often. He said, quote, "I do believe because Elvis Costello is wonderful that good manners and bad breath get you nowhere, so I do brush my teeth." These comments were made at a time when celebrities were coming forward sharing that they do not bathe daily. The conversation first started when Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher revealed that they don't bathe their kids daily, only when they see dirt on them. But after the comments went viral, Gyllenhaal somewhat regretted them and clarified his comments to BuzzFeed. Apparently he was being sarcastic when he gave that last answer. He said, quote, "I don't know what it was. I answered a question where I was being sarcastic and ironic, and it's followed me around." Continuing to joke about the subject, he added, quote, "Unfortunately, I showered before I came here, so I'm sorry." First up, we got Rihanna. Rihanna and Drake have a long history, including a romantic relationship and a bad breakup. In a 2018 interview, she shared her comments on Drake's infamous love profession that took place at the 2016 MTV VMAs, and apparently she wasn't happy with his outburst. She told Vogue, quote, "The VMAs is such a fan-focused award show, so having that energy around me and knowing the people who had received the award in the past made it feel like a big deal. Waiting through that speech was probably the most uncomfortable part. I don't like too many compliments, I don't like to be put on blast." Apparently the uncomfortability of that situation led the two to distance, and they were much closer friends before the speech. She said they weren't enemies by any means, but just not as close as they were before, saying, quote, "We don't have a friendship now, but we're not enemies either. It is what it is." Following the interview, Drake unfollowed Rihanna on Instagram, so clearly he was hurt that she felt uncomfortable about the comments. But it's understandable that she didn't want a groundbreaking career moment to be overshadowed by a romantic confession. Next up, Tyga. Tyga clearly is not fond of Drake, which he has made clear multiple times over the years. While Tyga was doing an interview with Power 106 in 2013, he was asked to play a game which he was asked who he would save from drowning, using people from his record label. At first they asked who he would save between Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj. Tyga couldn't choose, so he said to make one of them Drake, adding that he would save either one of them over Drake. But he said he didn't hate Drake, he was just closer with the others. But that changed a year later when he did another interview and completely trashed Drake. He said, quote, "I don't really get along with Drake." Tyga says that he likes Drake's music, just not who he is as a person. Apparently Tyga claims he's fake, and that when they are together it feels like the relationship is forced. Drake responded to the comments in his song 6 PM in New York from his 2016 mixtape. In the song, Drake shaded his relationship with Kylie Jenner, who was a teenager at the time. In the song, Drake tells Tyga to act his age, not his girl's age. XXXTentacion. The late rapper accused Drake of stealing his music. Apparently Drake's song, KMT, from the 2017 playlist More Life, sounds a lot like X's song Look At Me. X subtweeted Drake, saying that he was not the first nor the last person that Drake has stolen from, adding that Drake shouldn't come to Florida. X, who was a rising star at the time, elaborated on the issue in a March 2017 interview with Miami radio station 103.5 The Beat. Apparently Drake contacted X before he released the song KMT and said he might want to sign him, but instead Drake never contacted him again and took the flow for the song. Drake denied these allegations but admitted he saw some similarities in the music, although Drake said he's not dumb enough to steal from anyone at this point in his career. Next up, Pusha T. Pusha T is another rapper that is not fond of Drake. These two have been feuding since 2011, and their feud ended with Drake's son being exposed. In the years that they feuded, they would shade each other at concerts and snub each other when asked. But in 2018, things got messy when Pusha accused Drake of using a ghostwriter on the song Infrared. Drake responded by dropping Duppy Freestyle, which took aim at Pusha's age, career, wealth, and more, and even name-dropped his lady Virginia Williams. Pusha then took the beef to the next level and released The Story of Adidon, where Pusha revealed that Drake had a secret child that he fathered with adult actress Sophie Brazeau. Drake was not sure whether to hit back or to end the feud at that time, but he ended up letting it go and moving on, announcing his son to social media and confirmed the allegation was true. Drake said, quote, "The song, I thought it was trash, but the chess move was genius. Back against the wall, I either go all the way filthy or I fall back, and I have this sort of chink in my armor for the rest of time. I can live with that." Next up, Lily Allen. Drake's 2017 album More Life was a smash hit after its release, but Lily Allen was not happy with the lack of female talent on the record. She tweeted following the release, quote, 22 songs and one female feature, still sad. Many agreed with Allen and saw her point that diversity in the music community should be celebrated. But she also got a lot of backlash from Drake's fans who said it was not her place to comment on black art. One publication said that Allen was, quote, trying to police black art and dictate how black artists should create their own music. Others even called out her lack of male features on her songs, saying she was a hypocrite. She was also accused of appropriating black culture in her music, but not working with any black artists. After the backlash was too much to ignore, Allen tweeted an apology, saying that she will continue to educate herself. Next up, Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj and Drake have an interesting relationship. Sometimes they are best of friends, other times they feuded publicly. Although their relationship went sour in 2017 after Drake feuded with Nicki's boyfriend at the time, Meek Mill. The drama happened because Drake insinuated that Nicki was more popular than Meek on his record back to back, and Nicki was caught in the middle trying to defend her boyfriend. After the song was released, Nicki and Drake unfollowed each other on social media. Nicki then clapped back in her own track, Barbie Gone Bad, which was a remix to a song that Drake and Meek put out earlier. She said, quote, "Old boy and my brother tried to end me, dog." But these two are besties once again, and even collabed on Nicki's legendary diss track, No Feuds, in 2017. Kanye West. Kanye and Drake are sworn enemies, which we know after the epic Donda vs Certified Lover Boy album Feud. The beef with these two have been on and off for years, but things hit a peak in 2018 when his song In My Feelings made people think that he was having an affair with Kim Kardashian. Kanye called out Drake in a video saying, quote, "The fact that people are making rumors that you slept with my wife and you're not saying anything, that don't sit well with my spirit." Confusion comes from the lyrics, "Kiki, do you love me?" because a common nickname for Kim is Kiki, which fans have seen on their show Keeping Up. Kanye continued, quote, "You know, if I had a girlfriend from Chicago, her name was Ranita, and then you were married to Rihanna, I wouldn't make no song called Riri. Don't make no record with nothing that could be confused." Kim even got involved herself, saying the pair had never hooked up. After this, Kim and Kanye both claimed that Drake threatened them, and the two fired back at social media. Kim tweeted, quote, "Never threaten my husband or our family, he paved the way for there to be a Drake." Jennifer Lopez. Only a few short months after Drake declared his love for Rihanna on stage at the MTV VMAs, rumors were swirling that he was dating J-Lo. Apparently, the whole thing was set up by Drake, and he used J-Lo to generate press and sell records. The pair posted some cuddly photos on Instagram that made it seem like they were an item, but after some investigation, TMZ and Page 6 learned it was all a PR stunt to sell a collaboration they were going to be releasing. One insider said, quote, "This relationship is fake. It's just a publicity stunt to publicize their record together. If Jennifer and Drake were really dating, they'd be way more private about it." Doesn't Drake realize it looks weird to declare his love for Rihanna at the MTV Awards and then start flaunting his chemistry with J-Lo a few months later? The pair later dropped a song in 2017 called Teenage Fever. And finally, at number 1, we got Drake himself. On Pusha T's diss track of Drake, the cover showed a photo of Drake in blackface. After the shocking photo was released, fans demanded an explanation of why Drake would ever do blackface. Days after Drake explained that the photo was taken in 2007 when he was a struggling actor trying to get roles. He added, quote, "The photos represented how African Americans were once wrongfully portrayed in entertainment. This was to highlight and raise our frustrations with not always getting a fair chance in the industry and to make a point that the struggle for black actors had not changed much." But this is far from the only controversial thing that Drake has done. In 2014, TMZ reported that Drake threatened an adult dancer named Johnny Blaze because Drake thought she was going to speak publicly about their encounter. Apparently they slept together and Drake didn't want her to tell anyone, so he sent her tons of threatening texts. His threats were so bad that she called the police when she saw two men waiting outside her door for her. Drake denied all of the claims.